Hey Charger History! Today's essential question is, how did the agricultural revolution lead to trade? Please pause this video and copy your essential question at the top of your page. Yesterday we learned about the big change that happened around 10,000 BCE. Do you remember what happened as a result of this change? We know that people were able to live more comfortably because they knew where their next meal was coming from, either from their farm fields, or maybe from animals that they had domesticated, like cows or pigs or chickens. All the extra food that comes as a result of settled farming is called a surplus. Let's write down the word surplus and what it means. Surplus means having more than what is needed. When you have surplus food, like the ancient farmers did, that means that you have more food than what you need to survive. For a while, Neolithic people really weren't sure what to do with all of their extra crops and all of their extra meat. So over thousands of years, because remember the Neolithic revolution was very slow and gradual, but they learned many things. One thing that they learned is that you can preserve meat and fruit and vegetables by putting salt on them. This dries them out and makes them last for a long time. So here's a picture from ancient Egypt of people preparing their meat so that they can save it, dry it out for later. They salt it so that it lasts longer. Here's a picture of what it looks like after it's been salted and dried. We still do that today. This food probably looks familiar to you. If you've ever had beef jerky, it's salted and dried meat, just like what the prehistoric people would have eaten. Something else that they learned is that other societies that lived nearby might want their extra food. Maybe the other society didn't have enough salted fish, but maybe the other place did have extra strawberries. Well, what would you do in that situation? Well, what the early societies did was they would trade. They would trade the fish for the strawberries, and there was a name for this. This was called bartering. To barter means to trade goods without using money. Please copy the word barter and the definition in your notes. Now, Neolithic or farming societies had a surplus of fresh and preserved food. Plus, they were able to get whatever food they wanted by trading their extra food with other groups. I bet you can imagine, all of a sudden they had a lot of free time. They weren't so worried about how to survive like the hunter-gatherers were. In the Paleolithic times, people had to spend all of their free time hunting and gathering. But with the surplus of food, early farmers suddenly had a bunch of free time. What would they do with their days if they weren't hunting and gathering all day long? Suddenly, not everybody needed to get food. They weren't relaxing like this guy, but they did get to do things other than farming. Some were in charge of trading, some were in charge of making crafts, some were the cooks, some people worked with the animals, some made tools, and then of course some did still farm, but the ones that farmed could share the food with other people. So not everybody had to be a farmer, and not everybody was in charge of getting food. For the first time, different people could have different jobs, like how we have it today. The separation of jobs was called specialization. Specialization means that one person becomes an expert on a particular skill. specialization could also mean that one village was an expert on a certain crop or craft. For example, around here, Ponchatoula specializes in strawberries. New Orleans specializes in jazz music and brass bands. In the Neolithic times, different villages might be good at growing different crops. Please press pause if you need more time to copy your notes. Well, this little pig says it's time to move into practice. Please X out of this tab and go back to your playlist.